fined $10,000 by the Maryland Board of Physicians for practicing medicine without a license.
That seems exactly who I would expect to be on board with this program. Don't worry, everyone. We've found the top scientist in the world to be able to determine which toxins and how much plastic in your balls is directly leading to things that I consider to be conditions. That's right. So, indulge me for a second. Look at that.
Autism destroys families.
Oh, sorry. Gotta go. I'm sure you all know RFK Jr., the brainworms guy, the dude who has been accused of raping one of his personal maids, and as well as being a frequent flyer on the Lolita Express with Jeffrey Epstein. Big fan of beef tallow, as well as slaughtering beef before the eyes of his children and putting whale carcasses on the back of their cars so the whale juice can spill into their mouths. He's a very odd man, not someone that I think you would feel comfortable with standing outside of a bus station beside, let alone having in charge of any kind of public policy. But, you know, that's just not the timeline we live in. We live in the timeline where he happens to be in charge of public health measures. And so at first he was really going after seed oils. And I thought, well, I mean, of all the things he could be doing, going after seed oils effectively is not going to be at the top triage of evil. You know, it's something that he's trying to promote, not because he believes that you shouldn't eat so many fried foods. I mean, I'm sure he would prefer if people didn't eat nothing but fried foods, but it's because he wants you to eat them with beef tallow instead. And that's why he is now promoting a fast food restaurant, Steak and Shakes. Which, ooh, yeah, that sounds great for health, you know? If there's people who are living unhealthy lives, why don't you go get some Steak and Shakes? But now he's really rolling out a program that is frankly horrifying, especially knowing that he's doing it under the office of Donald Trump, who is actively engaged in going as speed runny towards Hitlerian policies as possible, to see him now going after the autistic community. Now, RFK Jr. initially made comments related to the autistic community that were just absolutely abhorrent. If you didn't see it, and I don't know if this is going to reference these clips, but he started speaking about them as if they were people incapable of functioning in society, saying things like they will never have a girlfriend, they will never write a poem, and you know, they will constantly be a drain on society. And you're just like, Jesus Christ, this is such a horrifying, monstrous, and frankly eugenics adjacent way to speak about people with autism, which encompasses a broad spectrum of different people. And obviously there's a lot of people online who were clowning on him and were ripping into it for very, very fair reasons. And he has now tried to smoothen his message out slightly to make it a little less, I don't know, Hitler.
Families, these are kids who will never pay taxes.
Wait, that's what you're gonna lead with? Like that? That's the big tragedy for you? These poor kids will never know the joy of attaching a Schedule K to a 1040A. It's not even accurate. I mean, autistic people do pay taxes. Are you thinking of art history majors?
Actually, he's thinking of billionaires. It's funny because when I saw him saying all these things about autistic people, I was like, you're just talking about billionaires. They will never know love. They will never write a poem. They will never pay tax. The billionaires. I'm talking about billionaires. Those are billionaires. Yeah, that's who you're describing.
But, I mean, please, give us more of your expert opinions about what autistic people can and can't do.
They'll never hold a job. They'll never play baseball. They'll never write a poem. They'll never go out on a date.
All right, so I'm happy they played the clip. I wanted to have it in its totality so you can see that I was not making shit up. It's just as horrifying as I made it out to be. And again, he's talking about billionaires. You're describing billionaires. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. A lot of them will have wives and a lot of people who they can obviously pay for friendships and have a little entourage of people who are definitely their real friends. And please, 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 could you help me out with a little bit of a down payment that I need, as friends, because we're really close friends. But yeah, so he's going on this whole thing where, again, he is just saying things that I know a big thing upon the right now, and it's even the libertarian and the anarcho-capitalist-esque meritocracy rules all type people, is them to now suddenly start to vilify people who are neurodivergent. I know Matt Walsh is going after people like me, people with ADHD. He's really upset at the ADHD community and their doctors and physicians and authors who've been writing on the subject extensively for a long time and trying to say that the entire thing is 100% made up, and it's basically just kids today. I guess they weren't beaten enough. You know, that South Park episode, that's it, right? If only all of you had a light slapping now and then, you probably would have realized that you're not hyperactive. There's no such thing as attention to disorder. There's simply children, just kids. And then now we have this weird version of reality where he's basically speaking like one of those old brain measuring, skull measuring doctors, because there was a time in America not too long ago. Yeah, this is a time that your parents are going to be able to describe to you in pretty horrifying detail, where the very idea of being autistic and being diagnosed with autism could mean that you ended up in an asylum, maybe against your will. There was a very big problem with forced institutionalization for a variety of conditions in the U.S. I would listen to the Behind the Bastards podcast to go into in-depth history with a lot of the quack doctors who used to believe that they could cure all kinds of child ailments by putting kids in oxygen deprivation tanks, which led to people literally burning on fire, children literally burning on fire, yes, in horrifying ways. You could also listen to Pearl Mania 500, who has an episode on the very idea of this myth that we now see a lot of right-wingers rest on, which is that more children today are diagnosed with some form of autism than they were in the past. Ergo, vis-a-vis, correlation does equal causation, microplastics. That's right. Toxins in the water, adulterating people. This could also explain the rise in people identifying as LGBTQ+, another thing that RFK Jr. thinks, that apparently trans people and gender dysphoria is a result of microplastics in the water. Plastic literally turning us trans, just little microplastics at a time. And if you might have noticed a pattern here, it's that these are all things that he thinks are conditions, as in these are all things to be cured. These are things in which, well, I mean, if we want to have less gay kids, we need to figure out what causes gay kids. If you want to have less people with autism, we need to figure out what causes autism and what adulterants or what externalities or what toxins in the environment are causing this plague upon... Oh, sorry, I can't say that anymore. Woke PC culture, SJWs are going to have a field time with that clip. Sorry, what I mean to say is causing a disturbance in the force, in our society, making it more difficult for us to extract vast amounts of wealth from your pockets.
Discredited vaccine skeptic David Geyer as a senior data analyst.
Geyer was previously fined $10,000 by the Maryland Board of Physicians for practicing medicine without a license.
That seems exactly who I would expect to be on board with this program. Don't worry, everyone. We've found the top scientist in the world to be able to determine which toxins and how much plastic in your balls is directly leading to things that I consider to be conditions, such as the gay, autism, trans people. We'll be able to find that out by September. We even got a date as to when they are going to reveal their findings. Let's see. The National Institute of Health is amassing private medical records from a number of federal and commercial databases to give the Health and Human Services Secretary, Robert F. Kennedy, new efforts to study autism. The new data will allow external researchers picked for Kennedy's autism studies to study comprehensive patient data with broad coverage of the U.S. population for the first time. The idea of the platform is that existing data resources are often fragmented and difficult to obtain. The NIH itself will often pay multiple times for the same data resource. Even data resources that are within the federal government are difficult to obtain. Medical records from pharmacy chains, lab testing, and genomic data from patients treated by the Department of Veteran Affairs and Indian Health Services, claims from private insurers, and data from smartwatches and fitness trackers will all be linked together, he said. I don't want to hear a single American who always tells me China bad talking about social credit scores when y'all are proposing this shit. Okay? Are you serious? Smartwatches? Fitness trackers? Well, we need to see how often these pores are exercising to really understand what is causing their conditions. Maybe it could be that. We will find out. The data will be comprehensive and extensive. They're in talks with the Centers for Medical Care, Medicaid Services to broaden agreements for governing access to their data. Not only is this horrifying because, again, trying to suddenly make databases of people that they deem to be inferior should be alarm bells of the highest order to every single person. Historically, this always ends in horrifying atrocities. I'm not trying to exaggerate that. I'm not trying to be cute. I'm just trying to paint the reality of the situation here. That is exactly why you should be horrified by what RFK Jr. is now trying to do and basically assemble in tandem with, again, every single time they start saying that, oh, we're going to be using advanced technology to be able to cross-collaborate a lot of this information in these databases. Are we talking, what, Oracle? Are you paging Sam Altman? Are we going to get OpenAI on this? Is this going to be some kind of new advanced system that is going to catalog every single person that you deem to have problems in America for a variety of reasons? That seems like the horrifying beginnings of some very dystopian shit. A new disease registry is being launched to track Americans with autism, which will be integrated into the data. Advocacy groups and experts have called out Kennedy for describing autism as a, quote, preventable disease, which they say is stigmatizing and unfounded. Between 10 and 20 outside groups of researchers will be given grant funding and access to the records to produce Kennedy's autism studies. They did not give details on how they would be chosen, but said their selection would be run through a normal process. The research will back using data with the highest possible quality proposals. Oh, good. Whew. I feel better now. That range from basic science to epidemiological approaches. The other will be applied approaches to treat and manage autism. He also acknowledged autism's wide variation on how it affects people. I recognize, of course, that autism, there's a range of manifestations ranging from highly functioning children to children that are quite severely disabled. And of course, the research will account for very carefully for that. Do you realize that the problem is that you are stigmatizing all people as if they have some collective disease, and then you're saying that this is a preventable disease, which there are outside agents causing it, and I'm going to determine what are those causes to be able to prevent more people like this from existing. Now, I understand that by phrasing it this way, I could be vilifying an entire group, a broad range, a spectrum, if you will, of different people with different conditions. And in doing so, I might seem as if they are inferior and they somehow need curing, and I can somehow find that cure. It's going to be some mysterious outside source that no one has even thought at this point to study. But thankfully, I found this discredited quack who's now coming on board to lead my research. He says by September he'll be able to crack the case. He will. While the selected researchers will be able to access and study the private medical data, they said they will not be able to download it. He promised state-of-the-art protections. Oh, good. You know who you should give this to? Pete Hegseth. You know, I know he's working with the Secretary of Defense capacity and all that. He's a little bit busy, but the guy really seems to know operational security. Just ask him a thing or two. See what his thoughts are on the entire thing. We're proposing a transformative real-world data initiative. It aims to provide a robust and secure computational data for chronic disease and autism research. And you know who's loving this? None other than Jimmy Dore. I don't know if you've seen Jimmy Dore's channel, but it's pretty funny. When he seems to go after, and the few times he does, something in the Republican sphere, such as J.D. Vance blames the Iraq War on our European allies, that doesn't really get a lot of views. 13,000. It's a shockingly low amount for 1.51 million subscribers. They're not enjoying this. Less than like 0.1% of your subscribers are watching this video. But they really like videos on Maha getting results. RFK Jr.'s stunning accomplishments after just 2 months. Wow. The man has changed the world for the better. Trump bringing cheaper drugs from Canada to the U.S., Americans, you better get ready for our juicy Canadian drugs coming your way. Oh man, he's saving you so much money, win after win. Isn't this amazing? Thank you, Donald Trump. Amazing. And then I'm guessing there'll probably be some trans fearmonger. Look at that. Trans girls dominating. Trans high jumpers crushing the competition. How dare they? But then we have kids are growing up in a toxic stew.
Come see us on tour. We're going to be serving under RFK Jr., and he's from Johns Hopkins University, surgeon. And here he is. He's talking about taking on the autism epidemic, and it's got a real...
Why are you calling it an epidemic? This is the weirdest aspect of this. Again, yes, there are more people now who are being diagnosed with autism than before because we have a much better understanding of autism now than we did before. This is the thing with science. I know it scares so many people who just want to be able to be like, oh God, my leg hurts. I should probably go in and see if science can fix me. Hi, doctor. Hello. What's wrong with my leg? Well, I will use science. We have a thing that can actually send rays into your leg so we can penetrate and see visually what's going on inside. My God, science is incredible. Yes, we are now using the X-ray. X. And then all of a sudden it's like, your leg is broken. I broke my leg. I thought when I was jumping down those stairs, that was actually just a fun time. Now I realize I really hurt myself. Can you fix me? We can. We can use a very simple procedure of keeping it in place so your body naturally heals itself and the bones can reconnect. The tissues will reconnect as well. Science is amazing. Don't you love science? Science sure is cool. And then it's all of a sudden it's like, oh, we learned some new stuff. We have some new things. No. What? New? The fuck are you talking about? No, I'm not. See, all of this is woke shit. Now they're trying to tell us fucking new things, woke things. I don't care about that shit. I want to live in one time period only, not accept any new information that comes into the world.
Interesting connection to gut health.
By September. Is that correct?
Who's this guest? Kim Bright? How much do you want to guess that this person is some, like... It's going to be a nutritionist who calls himself a doctor, or like a film studies major who calls himself a doctor, or, you know, someone selling generic woo or something. I guarantee it.
No, people want to know. A lot of parents have been dealing with kids with autism. I mean, 1 in 32 kids in America today have autism.
Check out the Dr. Pat show. All right. Guest profile, Kim Bright. Kim Bright is a pioneer in the nutrition industry. Of course. How does he do it? And an expert in health and wellness. She's been featured on nationally syndicated local radio and television shows since the 1980s, educating people on how to optimize their health. Kim has personally consulted over 15,000 people and has lectured groups all over the USA. Having studied with many well-known health experts and industry legends, Kim also attended and taught at the Cushing Institute in Massachusetts. Kim established a health center in Connecticut, where she consulted and taught healthy lifestyle courses along with various health experts from around the world. She opened a Change of Seasons restaurant in Westport. Ooh, diversifying. It was the first non-smoking restaurant in Connecticut. Kim, as chef and owner, was using locally sourced, in-season organic food long before it became the in thing, take that, to do. She was a trailblazer. Yes, realized that people will pay more money for the organic label.
Medicating every kid with
It was 1 in 10,000 in the 90s.
Microbiome, and he's talking about that it's not just one thing causing this spike in autism, that his guess as a scientist is that it's a bunch of things, and one of those things certainly is the food that we're eating, and the average American diet is basically poison, right? And how does that affect? How does
do you realize, again, take a step back, all right? If you happen to be someone who's not really recognizing just how batshit this all is, just to bring it all in, just picture them saying this about anything else, like gay people. Well, I mean, now more kids than ever are apparently gay. You're having like more rates. Gen Z are super gay. They're reporting high rates of like, and what is causing it? It's got to be the food we're eating. I swear to God, I don't know what is making all of those kids do this, but it's the microplastics. It's stuff in the air. Blah blah blah. More people than ever. It's pretty wild. So that's got to be what's causing it, and we got to find out what that is so we can take it out of our systems and reduce this plight upon society. No offense to anyone who happens to be gay.
Gut health affect everything else?
Well, you know, before I answer that, Jimmy, I have helped so many children in the 80s and the 90s when I was counseling people that were having problems in school and having focus problems, and maybe they were autistic. But what I did is I added in fermented foods or probiotics.
Oh my God, thank you. Fermented foods. All you need is some kimchi, and then you can get rid of this terrible burden that afflicts the world. If we go to, let's say, science, let's see what the scientists are saying. Are they totally on board with all of this? Autism rates rose again. Experts explain why. It's the food, right? As of 2022, about 1 in 31 children in the U.S. were diagnosed with autism by the time they were 8 years old. Researchers report online on April 15th in the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention Morbidity and Mortality Weekly Report. Previous studies had the number 1 in 36 in 2020 and 1 in 150 in 2000. Many researchers view the report as a better reflection of the true rate of autism and an opportunity to help individuals and families in need. I would say just generically speaking, what a regular person might want to do, just being like, well, how can we provide resources, especially to families that might have extra difficulties or challenges before them, but honestly not view this as a problem in which we need to solve the autism. It's the autism we need to solve. The thing I think everyone can state without question or controversy is that the work really does highlight how unbelievably common autism is now. That should be more of a message, instead of consistently vilifying people with it. To some people, though, the increase is shocking. That includes Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the Secretary of U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and is saying that it's an epidemic of a disorder that tears families apart. That perspective has been denounced as a harmful characterization of autism. Treating us, this is a quote, treating us like a disease or a burden on society instead of living people who exist and have our own thoughts and ideas about our disabilities weaponizes pity and fear to deny our basic rights. Using it, weaponizing it as a form of oppression. Really fucked up. So let's go to the reason why. Kennedy claimed, against scientific evidence, that toxins are responsible, and he has vowed to find the culprit of culprits within months. He disputed the idea that these relentless increases are simply artifacts or better diagnoses, better recognition, or changing diagnostic criteria. Yet that view contrasts sharply with what many expert opinions and study conclusions, including the new report itself. Improved awareness and detection of autism account for much of the increase, according to many scientists. Quote, the vast majority of this, I really think, is just recognition or better detection and diagnosis, says pediatrician Dennis Quo of the University of Rochester Medical Center of New York and former chair of the American Academy of Pediatrics Council on Children with Disabilities. We just know a lot more about what to look for. And in a lot of ways, that's a good thing. These are good things. Again, it is so fucking upsetting and backwards to try and frame this entire thing as, what's happening? We suddenly have a blight upon our society. An epidemic. You're using the term epidemic. Yes, because more children than ever are being diagnosed with autism. Diagnoses are tools. They're becoming more sophisticated. This is a gift to humanity. This is for the benefit of everybody. Why in the world would you frame it this way? You would have to be a sick fuck, dare I say, a wannabe Nazi, to look at the world in this view and think of it as something where you now need to direct your anger towards, and what caused this? What caused this blight upon my land? Well, maybe it was the food, sir. Yeah. Do we have a discredited quack who can verify that for us? We do. In fact, many, tons. In fact, just people just chomping at the bit to get a whole bunch of federal funding to be able to prove your wacky conspiracies, sir. Here they are, thousands of them. Which one do you want? Most of them don't have medical licenses, but that's because of the woke. It's the woke that canceled them, sir. And take anyone you want, and they'll be able to get you a report out by, when do you need it? September. September is when I need it. That's when I can prove to the world that it's the food, I say. The food and the toxins and the plastic. I really see the rise in the prevalence as a sign of progress, he says. It's not so much about the diagnosis, it's about the recognition of the needs and support. And the earlier we're able to address the needs and support, the better. States have a big difference in their autism rates, the new report showed. The prevalence of autism varied from 9.7 for every 1,000 kids in Laredo, Texas, to 53.1 for every 1,000 in California, however. Research has not demonstrated that living in certain communities puts children at a greater risk for developing ASD. The researchers wrote in the report. Instead, this discrepancy gives credence to the idea that better monitoring and screening is behind the increase. There is more access to people, and there's more people willing to have both healthcare to provide for their families, to be able to see doctors, to be able to discuss these kind of issues, to be able to have early detection for various forms of autism. That's one of the reasons why you're seeing that increase. It's not because, why is it? Kind of sus, right? Like the wokest place in America, Cala-Woka, suddenly has way more cases than Texas. I mean, I'm sure you can all hear Hank Hill. I tell you what, yeah, you know why. This is the woke, all right? This is the fact that they all eat plastic, the fact that they're okay with the gay, all that is contributed. No, none of this, like, Jesus Christ. And so, yeah, it's disgusting that Jimmy is doing this, saying that, like, apparently there are impurities in your food that are causing what he feels is a problem in society, namely autism. It's especially funny considering that he's now selling products that contain additives in your food. Like coffee, for example. Something simple to wake you up in the morning. I mean, regular people just go to serfscoffee.com where you can get end-to-end indigenous roasted coffee with nothing else but the coffee beans. No adulterants, no preservatives even. You just get those fresh, delicious beans delivered to your home. delicious, no impurities. But the Vanguard found something interesting that Jimmy Dore is now selling to his audience.
In Fauci's lab, though it will make you feel younger without the side effects of government advice. They dropped 1,000 longevity bundles, blew through most of them, and after watching freedom lovers panic harder than CNN on election night, they extended the sale and added a few more. Once this deal is gone, it's gone, like your trust in the FDA. For $99, you're getting over our $250 value. 2 bags of longevity coffee
It's like an
infused
infomercial.
What is that? How do you say that?
So for $99, what was that, $99?
Yeah, I
said?
think so.
You get 2 bags of anti-aging longevity coffee. So first, that better be some damn good coffee, because even the highest quality coffee that I'd buy, it would be a lot less than $50 a bag. So it better taste good and genuinely.
Better be getting a Costco sized bag at that point. That better be lasting you a fucking month, all right? But to be fair, regular coffee doesn't have the powers that 1775 has.
Contain this anti-aging chemical or whatever the fuck. But either way, I mean, it's an obvious scam. No such thing exists. You can't buy anti-aging coffee. And, you know, the only people that'll be interested in buying something like that are people that are about to fucking die.
Bro, it's sad, right? Basically, this is 700 Club level bullshit. This is
Okay, wait, hold on. What are you saying? Are you saying that just a bunch of weirdos, grifters, and rapists are endorsing this product? Oh, God. What the fuck? Weirdos, grifters, rapists. And they're all the spokespersons brewing through the bullshit. At 1775 Coffee, we stand with our creators. All of them? Even this one? The guy who's accused of pedophilia and rape? Who challenge the narrative and spark real conversations. We serve single origin, high altitude coffee that's as uncompromising as the truth.
Late night, I am preying on people who are desperate and vulnerable and alone. Maybe they have money, but they're desperately afraid. You know what I mean? Like, I was watching this documentary series about a guy who ran a Renaissance festival, right? And he was this old man and he had a bunch of crap and he had his entire own Renaissance fair, right? But
hold on, here's some of the quotes. Jimmy Dore, 1775 is bold, it's strong, it's America first in every single cup. America first in every single cup. Didn't this guy make a name for himself for being anti-establishment, anti-corporate, going after the corporate agenda, etc.? And now he's like, you can taste American values, America first in every cup. So the pedophile rapist says, why settle for anything less? 1775 is for those who are tired of sipping on mediocrity. Brewed to perfection, crafted with precision, built on patriotism. Donald Trump Jr. I'm thinking at this point, they just chat GPT'd their quotes for them because they're like, we need a quote from you. It's like, I don't give a fuck. Just say whatever you want. Coffee good? Can we write one for you? Yeah, sure. I don't care. Just fucking say whatever you got to say. Yeah. How about brewed to perfection? Don't compromise on taste, quality, or your values, says Kimberly Guilfoyle. Revolutionary beans for revolutionary minds. They tried to keep you asleep. You goddamn sheeple, drinking regular coffee. We're here to we're here to wake you up. 1775 coffee isn't just fuel. It's defiance. In a cup. I don't know. Some people just want to have a little pick-me-up and a nice warm cup of something that they like. It doesn't need to be a revolution, you know. Unapologetically bold. Designed for those who refuse to settle. Damn, son.
In you come. 1775 coffee is
cool.
A powerful brew indeed. God bless you, 1775 America. If Rumble were a cup of coffee.
He really... Oh, that's all we get. Okay. Well, he didn't really, break the bank on that one. Can you make a promo? Sure. What do you want me to do? Did you have a script? No, just talk about how much you love the coffee. It's like Rumbo. It's like Rumbo, I can drink what I want. I can say what I want. I don't even get queso. Donald Trump Jr., Dave Rubin, leveling up your morning routine.
If you're just an average Joe, you probably don't know that every sip of that big woke corporation-owned coffee that
he's a pro. He did way better than Russell Brand. Russell Brand just phoned that one in. He's actually willing to sit down and be like, look, I know a thing or two about selling out. I actually have no scruples or morals. I'm what you might say is a soulless human. That's right. I'll even sell my own children out in order to get a couple extra dollars. So when I want something that tastes delicious, you can trust me. Definitely. And is yours about
such good coffee? Yes. Well, it's 1775 coffee. They roast their coffee right.
They roast it right. Thank you. Someone had to. Well, they have a special thing called CAC. Here it is. The Anti-Aging Rejuvenate Coffee. This isn't your average cup of coffee. It's a high-performance, longevity-fueled elixir. We took our bold, full-bodied roast and supercharged it with CAC, a clinically backed compound designed to support cellular energy, longevity, and resilience. This longevity blend isn't just your morning boost. It's fueled to keep you strong, sharp, and unstoppable. No fillers, no fluff, just CAC. Good coffee your body will thank you for. Fill your mouth with cock. It may not surprise any of you to learn that CAC, aka CAAKG, is not something that is novel or brand new. It's something that you can find in any health food store that you go to. It is a supplement. And like most of these grifting ass products, what they do is they take something regular, coffee, they add a supplement that you can also buy relatively, affordably at a health food store, and then they put them together and then just charge exorbitant prices for that privilege. That's basically the entire Alex Jones business model. It's like, do you like turmeric? I do. It makes some foods taste delicious. Indeed. Did you know it's very healthy for you? I did, actually. It's incredible. Antioxidants, does a lot of great things for the body. Turmeric is very good. Good for liver health as well. It is. So if I take turmeric and I call it Dr. Jones, male fertility plus, then all of a sudden I can sell you that same turmeric, but I can sell it to you for like $70 for a couple pills instead of the $7 you can buy for a gigantic bag. If you again go into like an Indian store to buy a whole bunch of like spices and stuff like that, they would just have like giant tubs of it that you can put into these enormous bags and buy for a couple dollars. But you can buy the super expensive stuff if they rebrand it and add that sweet CAC.
I don't know how to say that.
Yes, bro, he's not there. Look at his tongue, dude.
He's like a lizard.
Oh, guys, okay.
Don't let this happen to you. Go to serfscoffee.com to order the only end-to-end owned indigenous coffee company that delivers blood-free, conflict-free, and cruelty-free beans right to your door. 0% of people who drink serfscoffee.com have exploded spontaneously. By ordering right now, you get 10% off plus free shipping, and it's the best way to enjoy delicious coffee while not exploding. That's serfscoffee.com, serfscoffee.com.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. This video wouldn't be at all possible without the financial support of all the people whose names you see on the screen right now. And if you want to unlock secret bonus episodes, content that we can't post anywhere else, or get the videos early before anyone else gets to see them, please go on to patreon.com/theserfs. For as little as $1, you can help support this channel and help make more videos like this possible. Our executive producers are Anna Loves Riley, Adrian McCarthy, Bobby Lasers, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Garrett Sandoval, Hagbard Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimondi, Omni, Political Papi, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Richard Boehm, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demel, Tigwig, Trav, and Words Greenwood. And also, it wouldn't be possible without all the names you see on the screen right now. Again, if you want to help produce this content, it's only made possible through the funding of our patrons. Head on down to patreon.com/theserfs. That's patreon.com/theserfs.